Hello, welcome back with another one. In the previous episode, I was showing how to create a backend class, which is your student class. And in this episode, I'm going to be introducing an interface. So in the interface, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be implementing all of the methods that we're going to need in order for us to work and interact with our backend class, which is student. So I'm going to continue on the same project that I've created. So you go here to app, you right click like we did it in episode number 4. Yeah, what I'm going to be doing, instead of creating a class, I'm then going to create an interface. So whenever I'm creating the interface, in this case, then I'm then going to, but before we get that, I need to first introduce you guys to relationships that are involved whenever you're working with backend classes. So in this case, what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be doing the methods inside my backend class. There's no need for me to go and actually introduce you guys to your interfaces because I haven't dealt with the relationship. So there are different types of relationships that are involved with the classes. That is your inheritance. Inheritance, uh, it's when a parent class gets to be inherited by the child class. So simple way is how it works in a household. If a parent has got possessions and those possessions are going to be inherited by the child. So even in programming, there is what we call inheritance, where everything that is involved in the parent class is still going to be applicable for the child class. So now, okay, in this case, let us give some methods. So in this case, let's say one of the methods is that we want to, what can we do? Yeah, what can we do? All right, I want us to include something here so that this is actually user-friendly. It gives us allowance. So let's say private, and then I'm gonna say integer. I'm gonna say mark. So here I'm gonna set my mark to be 0. This dot mark. Okay, I made a mistake here. I'm supposed to say private. So the privatizing and the publicizing of this is because the reason why we are privatizing it is because we are going to be connecting the two files. This file later on will be connected to this file. So the reason why we privatize is because we want this variable, which is a name, to only be applicable in this Java file and not outside. That is what we speak on when we say privatizing. So always make sure that you privatize your private fields or your attributes. So the mark, I'm going to make it a 0 here. Here, I'm going to include 1 here. I'm going to say integer mark, and then this dot mark should then be assigned to mark. Okay. And then I'm going to do a set method for your mark. So I'm going to say public void. I'm going to say set mark. And inside here, I'm going to put in an integer. I'm going to put in a mark. There we go. And so to set it, I'm going to say this dot mark should then be assigned to a mark. Then I'm also going to do a get method, which is going to return a mark to us. So I'm going to say public should return an integer, get mark. Okay, so this should be a specific mark for a test, return mark. There we go, tell pink. Yeah. So, okay, now I want us to develop a method. So this method, let's make it to be public so that it's accessible in the main class. And then now the public mark should return a double, which is okay, but let's make it an int. So calculate, we're gonna say that we want to calculate mark. And then in this case, whenever we're calculating the mark, we wanted to calculate the total mark. So int tot mark. And then now in this case, the tot mark must then be assigned to the mark that the student had given divided by the total of the test. Maybe let's say that the test was out of 150 and we need to multiply by 100. So, and then in this case, it's going to be able to give us the percentage mark. So we want to return tot mark. So this should be sufficient. So all of your methods, you can include them inside there, and you're going to be able to access them in your main class. So now what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to then be connecting this to the main class. So the way you do it, you come here, you're going to say import. Remember we said com dot greatmindstutorials.www.student. It's going to be able to import the student class. So now this is going to be able to connect this Java class to that Java class. Then we're going to be able to work with that. So the reason why we privatized, remember, everything that is public is going to be able to be accessed to the site. But since we have privatized the private field up there, it means that it's not going to be able to be accessed to site. So now let's go in here. In the previous episode, I was speaking about this big term that it might be big for some of them people who are new to Java programming, which is class instantiation. So the process of class instantiation is the process of creating objects for classes. So now we're going to do a class instantiation. We're going to create an object. So we're going to say student, and then stud or student in small letters. Then this is how we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it like that. Now, what I'm going to be doing then, I'm going to be saying that I want to get the username. I want to get the user surname. And the other thing, I want to get the user's mark. I want to get the student ID. I want to also get, what is the other thing that we were dealing with? I think there are, the age. So I want to also get the age. So after doing this, there is another class instantiation that we've been doing all along so far, which is your scanner. So the scanner SC new scanner system.in, this is what we call class instantiation. So here we say system.in for your inputs. So remember, since we're going to be dealing with numbers and non-numbers, we're going to do two scanners, one for numbers and one for non-numbers. Input. There is another method. I'm going to introduce you guys to that in the near future. For now, let's just stick to this one since we've been using it. All right, system.in. So you import also the scanner up there. So this is also part of class instantiation. So here's declarations. So it's good to comment because it shows the programmer or anyone who's going to be reading your code. It makes it much easier. It's good programming practice in order for you to comment everything that you're doing, because it's going to be make it much easier for the person who's going to be reading your code to understand what are you doing in each and every line. So, okay, now what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to prompt user input. So I'm going to say system.out.println. I'm going to say, please enter your name. I want it to appear in one line. And then now I'm going to say the name is then assigned to, let's use the SC scanner, for non-numbers. Dot next line. Make sure here in this case you do not use next, you use next line, because when you use next, let's say my name is Khodiso and my second name is Mpo, it will cut out the second name, it'll only put one word. But when I use next line, it's going to include both of them. I think there's a video which I've explained this as part of the basic programming. Just go to the playlist where I'm dealing with the basic programming. One of the episodes deals with that. Okay, now system.out.println, line, please enter your surname. I want it to appear on the same line. So yeah, we're going to say that the surname, it's sc.next line. Remember again, this is also a non-numeric. So for all of the numerics, then we're going to use the other one, which is input. Please enter your age. I want it to appear on the same line also. And then I'm going to say the age is then assigned to input. Dot next int, it's this one. System.out.println. So please enter your student number, student ID. Okay. So okay, that should be for the age, or this should be for the student ID, then assigned to input also, because it's also the next int. And then yeah, system.out.println, please enter your mark for the test. Okay, but it's fine. Please enter your mark for the test. Then we're going to take in this. So okay, now we want to use those to create an object. So remember, object. So that should be a stud. And then you say new, say student, use the, remember, you're going to use this one, this constructor. It must take in a name, a surname, an age, a student ID, and a mark. So I can just somehow copy this, come back here, paste it here. You need to remove the data types. Okay, there we go. So we're going to store the name, the surname, the age, the student ID, and the mark and so forth. So this is going to send this come and update the class, the site. So now I'm going to show you. So once we've created the class, then what we can do is that now we can use the get methods in order for us to access. So now we want to display the info. So in order for us to display the info, we're going to come here, assign disp here, empty. Then here I'm going to say disp, then assign to disp.concat. I've been using this method in the basics. I'm going to say the student name is concat. Now, so now to get it, you write the name of the object, which is should, when you say dot, all of those methods will appear the side, which is your get name. When you say that get name is going to give you the name, then we go to a new line, we concat, and then we enter the new line, we say the student's name is, you say stud, now is the get name. So those are your getters methods. Then you go to a new line, go to a new line, and then you say the student ID is. Then you say stud dot get stud ID. Okay, here we say age is stud dot get age. New line. Then now to show the percentage, we say the percentage mark the student, but the percentage mark the student scored is. So now we need to then access stud.calculate mark, which is this one. It should be able to give us the percentage mark, and then we put in the percentage sign in there. That should be able to do the trick for us. So now we say system.out.println line. What are we displaying? Disp. So this should be able to do the stuff for us. And then now we're going to run this code. Remember, to run this code, you need to go to the main class. You cannot run it from the backend class because there's no main. The main method is found in the main class. So what is your name? Khodiso. What is your surname? Is Mashile. And what is your age? 22. And then student ID is 1114. And then let's say I got 90. All right. It does it that far. Okay. Let's look at something here. Okay, this started as that. Yeah, I'm displaying this. Stud.getName. Okay. Let me do this. Let me get a new line here before it can display anything. What this one? 22, 90. Okay, let's come back here. Let's get back here. I want to see something here. Okay, yeah, I'm just returning the total mark. Okay. This should be able to get that total mark. Name. Okay, let me just quickly check something here. Now we're trying to troubleshoot something that is not going right here. Okay, it's the name, surname, age, student ID, and the mark. Name, surname, age, student ID, and the mark. Okay. Let me just remove this. Cut all of this. Put it inside here. I think it's because I've used the formatted instead of using the concat. That was my mistake, but it's fine. Okay. Which, okay, it's fine. And then 22, 1111, 90. There we go. Okay, now we're getting that. Now, here is where the problem is at. Now, let us come back here. We need to fix something here. There is something that is a little bit problematic here. Okay. So if I say 90 divided by, okay. Okay. So this divided by that is obviously going to give me a 0. So in order for it to give me proper stuff, I think I need to say, I need to make this double. But now I need to change this to be a double and also this to be a double. That should be able to resolve the issue. And then it's going to be able to return it properly. Okay. Let's run it again. So I've used the wrong thing there when I was saying format, but let me show you where my mistake was this side. New line. This was correct. New line. I was just supposed to say concat here. That should be fine. That was my only mistake. I didn't realize that I had written formatted. Okay, but it's fine. Those are just the mistakes that you'd. So that's what we call a logic error. It's not really a syntax error. 111. So 90. And then there we go. Now it's able to calculate the correct stuff. Why? Because it's now able to convert it. So there we have it. My name is Khoriso Mashile, ID number, age, and there is the percentage that I will have got. So there you have it. This is how you do it. So remember, every time you do your code, you might have to then deal with your syntax errors, anything that you have written that might be wrong. So what is a syntax error? A syntax error is when you are getting an actual error because you have written the code wrong. And then in that case, your program is not gonna run. So your logic error is when you have written everything correctly, but everything that you have written logically didn't make sense. So just to correct myself, I think I said syntax error, but what I've written here, that was a logic error. Yeah, I've written formatted instead of concat here. Hence, I was unable to see my output. But that is it from me for this episode. Till we meet on the next one. So remember, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to keep these videos as raw as possible, meaning that I do not prepare for any video. I show you what I know. So we're gonna be dealing with a lot of error fixing, but that is how programming is. Programming comes with a lot of bugs. Debugging is part of the what you call It is part of the process. You fixing your errors is part of your process. But that is it from me for this episode, which is episode number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Till the next one, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.